up, guys? Welcome back to another quick episode where we do a real deal deep dive. We have my man, Seth Williams. Seth needs to be on like a full show because we can just dive into all the ins and outs of all the cool stuff he's doing, who he is as a person. Like, we can learn so much. He's got a podcast of his own, just got married, just got back from his honeymoon. So he's like on cloud 9 right now. But Seth and I, we actually met. I used to go door to door sales, and I knocked on his parents' door. I didn't even get to the door. Actually, he was in the garage, and I started talking to him. He's like, "Do you want me to get the homeowner?" And I knew he was a stud because he was listening to Andy Frisella or something, and he was just like, "I'm the man." He has a shirt on that says A&M wakeboarding. I'm like, all right, this guy wakeboards. He's a cool kid. And anyhow, I talked to his dad, and I'm like, "Hey, you should go get your son." Long story short, he comes back out. He ends up working with me. We went and knocked doors that day, and he's still in that career right now, crushing it. And anyhow, just such a cool story, but we connected immediately. And so from that time, like, Seth is like dove into the real estate side of stuff. He's been a student all last year with real estate investing school, and he did an awesome deal, which is cool to kind of see the whole process from my end of like somebody who's like, "Hey, I want to go invest in real estate. I'm making a goal to do it. I'm committed to going, finding a deal, figuring out a way to make this happen." And then watching that happen, and then watching it actually basically turn into producing passive income for him was like a cool process on my end. But we just want to dive into that deal, and we'll do it quick. We'll kind of touch on the most important things. But Seth, welcome, and maybe give us a quick background on just like your deal, what it is, really quick.
What's up, bro? Dude, it's so good to see you, man. Guys, Brody's awesome. If you guys know Brody, this guy, he hits it off with everybody. The dude's so genuine. I love you, dude. I'm upset you moved all the way to Maui, so I won't see you as much. But it's
You're
good to
in
be
Texas
on here with
anyways, so you didn't see too much of me anyways. Let's be honest.
Yeah. So yeah. A little bit of background on the deal. I was kind of there were like a couple of like mindset like blockers that were kind of limiting from me getting started in real estate. And you like to call them like road bumps. You just kind of go over them. But some people treat them as like roadblocks. And one of mine it was actually I was going into my second year, or just finished my second year of sales. And I was 1099, so I needed tax return, right? Anyways, I couldn't get a loan. If I went to a bank, tried to get a loan, doesn't matter how much money I made, I couldn't get a loan. And I kind of kept that as like a limiting belief in my mind. Sure enough, I go hang out with you for a few days. It starts spinning my gears. Like, "Seth, you should be doing this. Like, there's no reason why you shouldn't be doing this. Like, find a way, whatever." Literally on the flight, on the way home.
So was this when you were at my house? This is
This is at
when.
your house. Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, I remember because we went on like this Zillow like deep dive, and we were like at the kitchen table. I'm like, "All right, we're gonna find you something. Let's go."
That was it,
Remember
bro.
that?
That was it. Yeah. So then on the flight back, literally from Salt Lake City to Houston, my buddy sends me a picture of this house, and it has like two doors in the front, and we'll post a video or a picture so you can see it. It has two doors in the front. And I'm like, that's kind of weird. Sure enough, I'm starting looking at it. I go and look at it the next day, and I'm like, dude, this is what Brody was talking about. I can add a bedroom. I can even split it up. And so that's kind of like the background of it, just a little bit.
Yeah, dude, super awesome. So basically, this is a house, and where is it at? College Station?
It's in Bryan College Station.
Bryan, Texas. Cool. So with that, yeah, what did you do? So you split it up. We kind of know how you found it. Well, maybe back up on that for a second. I love the mindset stuff because like we could dive into that all day and just kind of flipping the switch. And we're going to talk about how you funded it in a second too, which is another thing where people, it's like, "Oh, I don't have 2 years." And it's just so easy to give up. So I'm excited to dive into that really quick. But like before that, the way you found it, a buddy sent it to you. Maybe tell us why a buddy would send it to you in the first place.
Well, it was on the market for like over 90 days. And he's a buddy of mine. He's a realtor. He knows I was looking for a property, but It was interesting because it was on the market for over 90 days. And at this time, the market was going crazy. Interest rates were like 3.2%. So everybody was buying. It was hard to get properties. And it was a weird property because there's basically no backyard. There's like a side driveway, and it's not a house that really anybody would buy for like a family. Like nobody really wants to live there with like their wife and their kids and their dog. But for an investor, like after talking with you, it's like looking at properties from like an investor lens, not like a family lens, like consumer lens.
Yeah.
And that's how I kind of saw the property was that way. Yeah.
That's cool, man. Yeah. And you set up those systems in place. Like the reason he sent it to you was because he's a realtor and he also wholesales deals, and and so it's like he knew that you were in the market, and he knew that what you were looking for, that you were taking it serious, that you had goals. And so I think that's like the first step for everybody. It's like, what metrics do you have in place for those things to come to you and to come in front of your eyes? Like if you don't have things scheduled in to where you're actually looking for deals, if you don't have things scheduled in where you're educating yourself on what a good deal looks like, if you don't have, the funnel, quote unquote, set up to where it actually funnels down to you and people are out there looking for deals and they think of you and they find something, then of course real estate investing is going to be tough. And so anyhow, I love that you set those things up. Super cool. And maybe just tell us what you do right now with the property and how you rent it out and how it makes money. Is it just a normal rental, or how did you?
Yeah. So I was gonna try and get crazy and like split it up because it has its two interests and Airbnb it. But my first rental, I just kind of wanted to start. It was kind of starting out of my shoes a little bit. So I was like, I'm just gonna long-term rental it to some students. It's in a college town, which Brody always talked about. Like he loves investing in college towns. So it's like you have a security of like people are gonna be there. Renters are gonna be there. So it was when I bought it, it was a 4.
And you can charge more per bedroom, right? You can rent it out by the room versus other areas. It's a little bit more difficult to do that.
100%. And so so it was a 4.3. It's 2,100 square foot. And basically I rented out. Or I turned like we'll put a video of it, like a picture of it. But the living room was really big, and basically I just cornered off one of the corner of the living room, turned it into another bedroom.
Okay, so just kind of a quick walk through. So, just a big living room. Plan on putting a bedroom, adding a 4th bedroom right here. And another bedroom. So this is, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna basically put up a wall right here. And this is gonna separate this whole side of the house from that whole side. Put up a wall right there, and then this will make this a kitchenette. Put a washer and dryer stack right here, make this a kitchenette. This is a 1-1. All right, should be putting the paint on today. Already textured.
Turned a 4.3 into a 5.3, and that's rented total for $2,450. So it's about $490 a bedroom, and and it's cash flowing about $400-$500. And it's just crazy. Like if I wouldn't have added an extra bedroom, you're turning $2,450 in rent to under $2,000. It's like now you got no cash flow. So it's like just talking to you, and just like that's why it's so important to like consuming and like just information and getting around people that are already doing it. I would have had no idea to do that, and that wouldn't have been a deal.
That's awesome, man. And you busted that out like in the weekend. I remember just framed it up. And how much did that cost you to add the bedroom?
The bedroom that cost me about like $4,000 to $5,000.
Cool. So it's like you do the return on that, you're making roughly $500. It costs you roughly $5,000. Like that's a good return on your money to invest $5,000 to make $500 more per month for the rest of your life, right? So I love that.
Absolutely.
And then we got to talk about how you funded this thing, because this was like the biggest hiccup for you to like mentally try and get over and try and figure out. And we talked a lot about finding a partner or creating a win-win partnership or somehow figuring something out to get over to where someone else is qualifying for it, not you.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I said, the day after I flew in from Salt Lake from your place, I went and looked at it with the realtor that sent it to me, and walked in it. The guy, the seller was saying that he'd be able to seller finance. Well, we called the seller. I'm like, yeah, let's talk to him about it. He's got $40,000 left in loans. So I'm like, well, crap. Now I can't seller finance. That's why I was hyped about the property. That was the only way I could do a deal was seller finance because I couldn't get a loan. So I'm like, I'm stuck at that moment where I'm like, well, crap. It's like, can I even like do anything with this property? You know, if I can't seller finance, I can't get a loan. And I was like, you know what, dude? Like, I'm just gonna find a way. You know, like, bro, you always talk about it. Like, dude, just find a way. And so I'm like, all right, let me start calling some family members. Let me find somebody that like who can just sign on the loan for me. So I ended up actually talking to my aunt that I'm not really close with, but my mom told me that she's actually looking to like invest in some things for some investments. And so I call her up and I'm like, hey, Aunt Reese, I got this property. I'm like, I'm putting up all the money for it. All I need is a co-signer. I'm like, I'm doing the down payment, the renovations, like the maintenance, everything. I just need a co-signer, and I'll give you a $10,000 minimum at the latest of 5 years. And so if I cash out refi, I'll give you a minimum in 2 years. If I cash out refi, I'll give you a minimum of 10,000. But if it comes to it at 5 years, I'll just give you a $10,000 check. And so yeah, so that's how I kind of financed. And obviously for her, she's making 10 grand, you know, without spending a penny. So it's a huge investment, but I needed her credit. So that's how we got it done.
Dude, that's awesome, man. So cool. And you know me, I love how you negotiated that without giving up a bunch of equity, right? Because debt's always cheaper than equity, always. And so remember that as you guys are structuring your partnerships and different things, it's like you created a win-win scenario. It wasn't that difficult. She's stoked. It's worth it to her because she's making money, right? And she trusts you, and it's really not affecting her at all. And it's a win for you because you're able to get the deal and you have all the benefits of owning that piece of property. We had another, it's actually one of our, Joe Jensen is the host of the Bigger Pockets podcast. This isn't the Bigger Pockets podcast. The host of a Real Estate Investing School podcast. And yeah, he did the same thing recently because he needed someone to co-sign, and he gave them the tax benefits. So because they signed, they got the tax benefits, but they got no equity, they got no cash flow, all of that. And so it was worth it to them. So anyhow, kind of similar in that aspect of it, but I love that, what you did there. So next step, what would you say like was the biggest thing that you kind of learned through the whole process of taking this thing down? Maybe you touched on it already, but anything that like somebody else is, hey, I'm going through these, maybe it's different. Maybe they can qualify, or maybe they can't qualify. Maybe they don't have an aunt. I don't know, but they're going through some sort of speed bump, right? Where they're like, I don't know how I'm going to get into real estate. I've been trying the last year. I keep saying I want to do it, but I keep getting stuck.
Yeah. Dude, honestly, you always talked about it in our sales meetings. It's the power of the big mo. It's momentum. And that's really what I want to do. Like you always say, everybody always talks about, I'm going to be a real estate investor. You're talking about on the street, I'm going to be a real estate investor. And I just didn't want to be one of those people that's like sitting on the sidelines forever. I'm like, I don't care if it cash flows 100, 200, if I even break even. Now, obviously it's not a good investment, but that was like my mindset. It's like, I got to get off the bench so I can actually move in to actually like get in the game. So I would just say like, you just got to flip that switch of like, I'm going to find a way. I'm not going to try and hit a home run. That was also my problem, is I was trying to find a home run that's going to bring $5,000 cash flow, $2,000 cash flow a month. And it's like, dude, just get a base hit. And like literally when I got the deal under contract, that was the furthest I've gotten up to that point. I had so much belief of like, dude, I can actually invest in real estate. Like I actually feel like I can go do this thing. I can get more properties. I can actually, create this for me and my family. So I would say like, you just have to get off the bench and get in the game. And you're not going to hit a home run in your first deal. Like you're not going to retire off your first deal. So it's like, you have to get that momentum going.
Dude, that's so good. I think that's a great place to end. Get some momentum and just get after it. Don't focus on the home runs, just nice solid base hits and get in the game, build up that confidence. Seth, if people want to reach out to you or ask you more about your deal, what's a good spot to do that?
Yeah, Instagram is probably the best spot. Instagram is Seth McKay Williams, Seth MCKAY Williams. Yeah, just reach out. I love, like, Brody really inspires me so much. Kind of like similar type thing what I do with the people that I kind of reach out to and mentor and stuff like that. So yeah.
Dude, thanks, man. I appreciate it, and appreciate you. Go connect with Seth. Just if you're a young hustler and you're like, hey, I wanna be around people that are inspiring me and doing big things no matter what in the future, Seth's one of those people. So dude, thanks so much. I know it was super quick, but I learned a ton. I'm sure everybody listening did too. So we can go out and apply a lot of the new stuff we learned from you. So thanks so much, brother.
Appreciate it, bro. Thanks for having me on.